This meeting of the New Brunswick Parking Authority. Please be advised that the notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been complied with and satisfied, and that the annual notice, which gave sufficient notice of the time, place, and conduct of all public meetings of the New Brunswick Parking Authority, has been filed with the City Clerk, has been placed on the appropriate bulletin board in the lobby of City Hall, New Brunswick, New Jersey, and has been transmitted to the official newspaper for the City of New Brunswick, namely the Home News and Tribune, as per the annual notice provided in a resolution adopted by this governing body on December 29, 1975. I think the board members have received minutes from the April 2019 regular board meeting. Unless there's any comments or edits, could I get a motion to accept those minutes?
I'll make a motion.
In a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Mitch?
Thank you, Chairman. Regarding the Performing Arts Garage, we installed revenue equipment, and we're currently installing cameras and electric charging stations. And we're looking to open at the end of July. The 2019 Restoration and Maintenance Project, we had a bid opening on May 16th. We had 8 respondents. We budgeted $300,000. The lowest responsible bid was for $237,000. And I have a resolution on tap to approve the low bid. We applied for a grant through the Drive Green Initiative from New Jersey DEP. We're looking to install charging stations in all the other garages that we currently don't offer at, such as Plum, Patterson, Church, New and Morris. So wait and see if we can get some funding for that. Currently exploring the possibility of adding a billboard on the Patterson Street garage, the side facing down French Street, if that makes sense. If you're coming from Franklin, driving down that side of it. And finally, with the warmer weather upon us, we began to deploy the Segway and the bicycle patrols for the parking services people. So we use that to patrol the garages and also to help the patrons when they're cold get there faster, quicker.
Okay, thank you. That's it?
That's all I have.
Okay. Finance, Bright, anything?
The April financial statement was distributed, emailed to the board members. The revenue, year-to-date revenue for as of April is 11.3 million, 5.4% more than what was budgeted, and the expense was 6.9 million, 1.7% less than what was budgeted, with a net income of 4.3.
Okay, great. Thank you. David, do you have any legal matters?
No report, Chairman. Thank you.
Okay. We'll go to the public comment section. I just want to outline what the public comment section is. Any resident or taxpayer of New Brunswick is welcome to comment on any item of concern. We'll allot a total of no more than 30 minutes for the entire public comment period. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium, give us your name and address for the record. The amount of discussion for any speaker will be limited to 2 minutes without extension. No speaker, as the chairman, we want to, you're allowed to say anything you want, positive or negative, but it's not a question and answer. So if necessary, I could refer things to the speaker to the executive director for any further action that he wants to take post-meeting. Having said that, any public comment this evening?
Mr. Chair, where is the podium you speak?
The podium?
You made reference to approaching the podium?
Approaching the table. Sorry.
Okay, I just want to
Thanks.
understand the rules here. So I'll start by following up on a question I emailed earlier today. I want to know the total amount of debt that the parking authority has.
I emailed you back 3.
You did?
Yeah, 3. I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. I'll check my email. I do think that there are a number of issues here that deserve responses from the public or from the board members. So I do take issue with your no questions policy. As you well know, you've been the chairman for a long time, and there was no harm coming to the agency from answering questions, but abruptly that policy was changed, and I don't understand why. I still don't understand why, and so I'm going to ask you just person to person, can you tell me whose idea it was to stop answering questions at these meetings?
The board decided that it was public comment. It's not a question, it's not a question and answer session. So I would encourage you, if you have comments, to make the comments.
Okay, so I will point out that at the last meeting, this new unwritten policy was sprung on the public by your attorney, Mr. Can I pronounce your name correctly? Is it Minchello?
That's correct.
Minchello. Mr. Minchello brought this up. He said there's going to be no more question and answer, no more back and forth. And I asked, for what reason? And he said, quote, simply because the law doesn't allow for it. And so, respectfully, Mr. Chairman, I know your attorney is experienced. He works for other government bodies. Can you please ask him, for the record, what law he's citing that doesn't allow for the board to answer questions?
Okay, I'll refer that for some future, for an answer from the director.
Okay, so I can expect an answer regarding which law doesn't allow you to answer questions.
We'll get you an answer.
I respectfully submit that there is no law that prevents you from answering questions, and it was wrong for your attorney to give you that advice, and wrong for him to say that the law doesn't allow for it, because it's not the law that doesn't allow for it. It's this board and your council that's not allowing for it. There's no law that prevents you from answering questions during these meetings, and you know it because you've answered questions in these meetings for years and years and years with another attorney working for you, and with this attorney working for you. And according to his financial disclosure statement, Mr. Minchello is not only a law partner with the Speaker of the State Assembly, but he also represents, he's the Corporation Counsel for Plainfield, he's the Township Attorney for Scotch Plains, and he's the Township Solicitor for West Hampton. And so I would respectfully ask that you refer these questions to the same place. Does he tell those towns and the people in those towns that they shouldn't be asking questions?
Okay,
I'm
thanks
sorry.
for your time.
So you'll get back to me. Someone will get back to me about the basis in the law, because there is no basis in law or case law.
Okay,
For
thanks
this.
for your comment.
And sir, this board has no bylaws, correct?
We follow the state statute for parking authorities.
Okay. And so what is the basis for this new policy of a 2-minute time limit then? If you have no bylaws, where is this policy coming from?
Mr. Cradaville, the chair has discretion to run the meeting as he sees fit. He's presiding over the meeting and he sets the rules of the meeting. That's his responsibility and it's his discretion.
And did he consult with you about this 2-minute time limit?
I'm not going to discuss attorney-client information. That's privileged.
Even though your client's the public body?
That's correct.
Okay, well, I gotta be honest, this is a public body that acts like a private corporation. I did not just walk through the doors of a corporate boardroom. This board works for the people of New Brunswick. Whether you like it or not, you're here to serve us, and we deserve answers. When somebody takes time to come out to your meeting, time out of their day to be here, the least you can do is try your best to answer the questions. And right now, what this board is doing is being obstructionist. And you're behaving like some of the worst political people in our politics right now, because you're not serving the people and you're embracing that you're not serving the people. There was a quote from one of the board members last time that this board is not here to answer for the public. They're not, that's not the role. But in fact it is, and that's why this is a public entity. It was created by the City Council some 70 years ago, and you need to address all the issues. It's nice that you get together once a month and have a quick little report and pay your bills, but there's real problems. The debt is a problem. The malfunctions that have been happening at Wellness, one of your newest garages, where people are getting stuck in there and long lines are being backed up. The people who've taken their lives leaping to their deaths from these parking garages with no real effort to combat it. I know that many folks have been taking their concerns to the City Council and pointing out things like buildings that are supposed to be able to get permit parking are not getting it because they're new buildings and the parking authority didn't have them on their list. We had one gentleman had to come to the meeting 3 times just to get his handicap parking permit. The city didn't want him to get it. And, you know, I got to be honest, the parking authority doesn't send a representative to the City Council usually, but if you did, you would see that that body thinks enough of the people of New Brunswick that they do answer questions, that they do go out of their way to refer the questions to the right people, and try to get answers in that session here. And what's going on here is wrong. This
Thank you.
is absolutely
Thank
wrong.
you
It's a
for your comment.
dereliction of duty, and if you're not up to the position, simply resign. Thank you.
Is there any other public who would like to speak tonight?
Hi, yes, you said you
Yes,
get
please.
2 minutes?
Of course.
Well, first I'd like to start off, my name is Danielle Nora. I'm mainly known for traffic and for safety. But I'm here to talk about a few things, and I see the way this is starting due to where you're saying you're not allowed to answer any question is. To me, wow, do you feel that from your answers, due to where you're too embarrassed to answer any of these questions? Is the company too embarrassed? Because I find out that, wow, certain things I say you should be able to answer. And one thing I'm here to speak about, like I said, normally I'm traffic and safety, but I'm getting very angry with the situation. Parking Authority is being paid over $135,000 to keep George Street, French Street, and Remsen Avenue clean. And one reason why I'm concerned due to where I reported this several times with French Street, which I'm a photographer also, I do provide pictures to Mr. Mittenall at the City Council and traffic meeting, that come on, too much garbage. And the reason why I'm saying too much garbage from the city and your job, it's creating too many rodents. So please, yes, you get paid $135,000 a year. The only street that is kept clean is George Street. So please, yes, like I said, I will show you the pictures afterwards to show you how dirty this is, and all you care about is George Street, not Remsen Avenue, French Street. Wow, the city can pay the homeless cheaper than what they pay you, $135,000 a year. Then also my concern is over at the lot with the construction across from the train station. I also got pictures of Parking Authority due to where setting hoses, setting a pump. Where are you going to pump all that nasty water to? I hope you're not going to have it pumped out into the sewer, into the drains. So what? I guess you can't give me an answer on that, but come on, that's a health hazard. All that water that's building up in the open lot there, and like I said, I have the pictures to show with the water being pumped out. So
This pumping station, it goes back to the ferry. It goes back into the ground, it's pumped back into the ground. It's groundwater coming up and then it's pumped back in. It's the way it's built. If you see those two circles, those are pumping stations. They were in the old ferry for years. So now they're exposed, so the pump goes on to pump the water back down in there.
well, every day that I walk through there, the water is still big lumps of nasty water.
Yeah, no, when it rains a lot, it's hard for the pumps to maintain.
It hasn't rained in the past
Yeah.
2 or 3 days.
Okay.
It takes a while.
And then also the reason why I say, wow, hoping for questions, I was regards to parking due to where, if you're in residential parking, I know you changed it due to where it goes by license plates, where no more stickers. Okay, say for example, I just have a guest that's out of time. What, do I have to go online to register each guest or visitor that comes to the location for residential parking? Are you still giving out maybe it used to be you give out 2 passes for where you put it on in the guest car. So yes, but once again you're saying I can't get answers for that, how to do that.
You get 2, yes, you have to go online, put in the license plate, but you still get 2. That hasn't changed, the number of passes hasn't changed. But you would have to go online, you don't have a hang tag any longer. Then you go online and put the license plate number in.
So every time a different guest comes, I would have to go online to.
Yep.
Wow, now that's a lot of work. If you have a family reunion or something, you have over what?
Well, you only have 2 guests, so.
I'm just saying, for example, where you can still have more than two guests, and you're saying to have to put each license plate. That's a lot of work due to where I saw with the Parking Authority today, where it seems like they don't even take the time to see if you have a pass in the door, due to where once the car goes by and it says that you're not registered, first thing they do, they just give out a ticket due to where they don't even check inside the cars to see if you have a pass.
The passes are, what kind of pass are we talking about, Danielle? There are no passes per se. Are you talking about the old hang tags?
Yes.
Well, those are no longer valid. They haven't been valid for almost 2 years now.
So I don't understand, how are you saying, okay, you're allowed 2 passes?
You're allowed 2 visitor passes online. So you could use, you could put 2 license plates in as visitors. You follow?
Yes.
When you're
okay.
online. That's what I mean by passes.
Oh, okay.
Permits.
Okay, so no more of the hangers.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay,
Lot of work, but okay, thank you.
thank you for your comments. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Albert Valeri. I'm in the 2nd Ward. I'd like to know what is going on, what are we doing about this big hole in the ground here where the fair and deck used to be? Is there any plans to finish that project or do something with it, and what are the plans? Also, the supermarket is, I understand, in arrears of several hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I wonder why they had to cut back their the store footage. And I wonder what's going on with that. And are they also slated to be gone from New Brunswick? And if so, what plans do you have for that? But I also would like to know, is this hole in the ground been abandoned? Or is there going to be some kind of plan that's in the offing for this? And if there is, could you tell me what it is?
So want to make sure we get that information out, that there's, so the
It's
site,
the hub. It's called the hub.
yeah,
It's going to be a technological center, basically.
A technological center?
Yeah.
Will
that's
that be
right.
some part of Rutgers then?
And they might be a partner in it. It might be.
Don't you think we need something for the community there? Instead of just more Rutgers facilities? I mean, this is like Rutgers and the hospital's pretty much taken over most of the downtown. And I'd like to see that be some kind of community center or something that the people can enjoy. And even an additional theater or something, because we need more facilities. There's no common spaces in New Brunswick anymore, and we should have something for the people, not just for Rutgers or the hospital. I'd like to see something planned in that regard.
okay, thank you very much for your comment.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
My name's Chris Roberts. I'm running for the Democratic County Committee. I live on Hamilton Street,
Yes, sir.
and I had a question about the grocery store too. So I go there kind of often during the year, and I know that Key Foods used to be there before then, and recently this grocery store had like 6 aisles closed or something, and I was just, to me it just seems like a kind of a bad location for a grocery store. There's not many like houses near it. I was wondering, you know, why is there continuous like investments in this grocery store? Because it seems like every time they open something there, it just doesn't work out for the business.
Mitch, why don't you want to put something together? We could give him some history on the grocery stores here.
Sure. So, do you have an email I can respond
Yeah,
to?
sure. Thanks.
Can you get him something in there?
All right. Roberts, 97. Thank you.
97, you got it.
Okay. Any other member of the public who would like to speak?
My name's Mary Cloven. I just came from there, the grocery store. But I know the Super Fresh, the business was going down and they really closed off a lot of aisles. But it seems to me when I walk over there that that's connected with tearing down Fair and Deck. Because I used to park on the back side of Fair and Deck and there was that road that you could park on. So it wasn't just, you know, coming alongside the store. But so when I look at this site, I'm just thinking like, why can't you, in the middle, you could see where the road was. Why can't you just open up the fence and have like put in 2 new fences, and then that part where the road was, it's kind of flat, and it would allow for more parking for the grocery store.
Don't we have parking in the old,
The old Wells Fargo lot, we have free parking in the old Wells Fargo lot, which is directly across the street from the supermarket. And we also have 30-minute parking on the street.
do you know what that is?
Not exactly, but I think if you could,
It's right next to that street.
Yeah, it's the end of the street, right across the street from the grocery store.
it seems like there's an area that's kind of flat, and if you just paid for the fences, you could open it up and kind of go, you know, bisect that empty area, and you could use it for parking.
Thanks for your comment. Is there any other member of the public who wishes to speak? Okay, thank you. If not, let's move on to resolutions. Can I get a motion to, for the payment resolution for May?
I would make the motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mitch described in his report the 2019 restoration and rehab bid. If there's no further questions, could I get a motion to approve that?
Place a motion.
And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Bright, so we're now ready to approve the 2018 audited financial report? Okay. Anybody have any questions on the audit report?
So the only loose end we had was the state pension contribution, which has now been received.
Right.
So you know what that figure is, so great. No other questions, I'd make a motion if there's no other
Great.
questions.
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any old or new business, Mitch?
No, I have none.
Do we have any closed session items this
I have
evening?
none.
Okay. Then I'd like to get a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Meeting's